So today we're going to be talking about week 2.
Yeah.
So we're just going to briefly go over what we've done. So on Monday we were doing Shakespeare. We were sort of like talking about what Shakespeare is all about, the different themes that you get in Shakespeare. And we did a warm-up at the start of that session as well, and we sort of did things like boxing, which was really fun. It's nice to sort of get to know new things that we haven't actually done before. I really like that.
Yeah, I found on Monday, like Jacob said, we did the boxing, we did the fighting style classes. I found that helpful anyway because I've never done that style stage fighting before, and it's something I can add on to my acting CV after a bit more practice. Also, it's cool to be like just learning new stuff like that basically because in this industry the more skills we have the better, and I've never done anything like that before, so it was a new experience in that sense, so I'm just going to keep building on that.
Yeah.
What else?
And I'm sure we'll be using that skill in the future for fighting scenes.
We did a class with Tom as well on Monday, and then the goal of the lesson was to realise the action is more weight than the emotion, as the emotion falls into place when the action and the character's goal of the scene is realised.
Yeah.
So basically what that means is you can first comes internal and then comes external. That's what it says in the Konstantin Stanislavski and Actor Prepares book that Tom told us to get, so I've been reading that.
Yeah.
And then it was basically just saying first you have to think about what your character's trying to achieve, what their goals are, what their relationships are with different characters, and then after that you can act based on that character. So basically just like do your background work first before you go into the real thing.
Exactly, and I think that internal external is very important because I feel like that's the sort of one that is, I guess, it sort of really does bring out the emotion as one of the biggest points for emotion, I think, and I think emotion plays a very big part when acting, so that's something I want to say as well. And then we had Hayley on, I think it was the day after, and we were sort of introduced again more to improvisation. And what we did in this lesson was we were sort of given scenarios to act on, and we were all paired into different groups, and I was with Mary, Abby, and me, and we were doing like a prison eating scene. I felt like when we did that though, it didn't really get anywhere that much. I just feel like maybe quite a few times there was just some pauses and it sort of made it look very unnatural, and I think, it's understandable though. It is understandable though. I mean, it was really just our first time doing that sort of stuff, so I'm gonna say that, but I mean, it does still need to be worked on, I think, that improvisation skill, and I'm sure over the weeks to come it will get better. So
yeah, for me actually, this was on the Tuesday, wasn't it? Our 3-person workshop. I know that I think it was Paris and Kieran, and we were our piece. We actually did like a bus stop style theme. It was just like we're all just strangers waiting for the bus stop. Waiting at the bus stop for the bus, obviously, and it's all just about interactions we have with each other. I didn't find it too difficult because, of course, like the normal reaction at the bus stop is kind of just to mind your own business. But I felt like because we tried to do more than that, we overcomplicated it, and then also we didn't really get to work on those improv skills, and it wasn't really naturalistic. It didn't have that real feel of just normal people waiting at a bus stop. So on my personal what I personally need to work on would just to be my interaction with different people. Of course, I was just going with the flow, so when things escalated, I just followed through how I thought how that would go, how that normal interaction would go when it was stuff like you actually pushing someone at the bus stop. So of course I got slightly annoyed, and then when it exploded, it's like, whoa, what is this about?
I remember. There was this other group. I think we can talk about ensemble, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was this sort of group that I think did quite well though. It was the bank robbing scene. I thought that one had actually got a very good flow to it, and I thought the projection was pretty good as well in it. And but I think the main thing though for that group was that it was done so well because of the fact that it was flowing and there just weren't many pauses, and they had ideas in their brain like what to do as a group, and they worked very well as a group. I think it was Ricardo and Madaj's group that I think was quite good there. But yeah, no, that's what we did on the Tuesday with Haley. Let's think there's Thursday as well. We gonna talk about The Voice.
Yeah. I think on Thursday we had our first lesson with Haley, and it was not Haley, Carly Bond, and it was all about like how important it is to look after our voice. So we did like exercises. So we did like massage, like how to massage your larynx, which is your voice box, and doing stuff like which would be stuff like massaging your tongue, which actually in turn releases tension on your larynx. So it'd be stuff like you use your thumbs and you gently just push against the soft part of your the soft part underneath your chin, which they called the soft palate.
Soft palate.
Pretty sure.
I think the soft palate is. No, that's down your throat. That's down your throat.
That's my bad. Yeah, it's down your throat. But this like massages because it releases tension on your tongue.
Yeah.
It actually massages your larynx because there's less pressure on it to make certain sounds. And and then of course like relaxing the jaw as well. So it's just like different exercises essentially.
Yeah.
To like look after yourself. And then we did some like you could like myth busting with certain things. Like there was that whole thing about what people say it's like drinking green tea makes your voice better or something like that. It's not always that. It's like you start like I think stuff like the I think it was the lemon they had before. Like if you have like a sip of like lemon like extract like lemon stuff, then it actually soothes your throat. That's what soothes it, not like the green like tea.
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think when we did that vocal health thing, that wasn't related.
Yeah.
The vocal health research, that wasn't related to, because that was a few weeks after, wasn't it?
Oh, the vocal health research?
Yeah. No, that was a few weeks after, I swear. No, it's probably unrelated. But yeah, no, because we've only got a few minutes. Let's talk about Gary as well.
Yeah, that was we had our first lesson with Gary, didn't we?
Our first lesson with Gary. At first I sort of found it a bit scary because it was a new teacher, but I think Gary is amazing, so... But yeah, basically what we did was we introduced each other as a group, and we talked about our sort of aspirations, I guess, like what we want to get into and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we basically just cut right to the chase, really. Then we started our first task, which was like getting along the T marks and hitting the right spots without looking.
So part of that was like for me personally, I want to be a an actor for film, or potentially go into like voice acting and stuff, because that would be very cool, obviously. And like on that day we did it was floor markings and making sure you hit your spots basically.
And at first I found that really difficult, but as we went along later in the lesson, I actually got better at it, funny enough, and I was quite proud of myself. And I think maybe the T-mark thing I might have quite a good skill at, at this point, and maybe I don't need to work on that too much. But I mean, if I do need to work on it, then I will just like practice it at home. I don't think it would be too hard to practice T-mark followings.
It was just why I really enjoyed it anyway, because once it was like you learn the basics of what you had to do, which was make sure you hit every mark. We implemented more and more acting each time. We went through it about maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then after that, of course, we we did a full run through of it for each scene, and it was cool anyway, seeing different people, like everybody's different interpretations of like how they would handle the scene. Like for mine personally, I handled it like one of the first things I did, which I thought flowed well with the character, and Gary pointed out as well, was I had my hands in my pockets to begin with, and then once I heard the noise, I instantly just took them out, and then I just turned around and thought what's going on. So that I lost that sense of security that I had. And then afterwards, I was slowly like, I was getting more and more scared. You can see more and more characters get more aggressive, because that's how my character would have reacted in that scene when they get that whole fight or flight thing. Some people would like get angry and start trying to fight, like whatever it is, and then some people would just run. But what I got from this week, honestly, I think this week I've just learned some helpful tips about basically ensuring that I can have a longer career with stuff like massaging your larynx and stuff like that, because of course it's not the same because we're not MT, but if we always have to really project and we're doing like 7 or 8 shows a week, then it's going to be important that we keep our voice sustainable, you know what I mean?
And I think especially if you're saying the same lines all over again, like your tongue sort of goes in the same movement, so it sort of needs to be like able to adjust to sort of all these different sounds, and I think we sort of need to practice our projection a bit more to sort of get onto that. But yeah, no, if that even made sense, I don't know. But so I think that's week 2.
Let me just check.
Else you want to add?
I just want to double check, But the reason why I found Gary's lesson helpful was it gave me my first insight as well into what acting for film is like.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I've had that experience now, sort of thing, because it has met. I had before I wasn't too sure where I wanted to go, in the sense that I wasn't sure if I'd end up just doing theatre and then go in something like acting for film. But I'd rather just go for acting for film straight away. I mean, obviously there's no guarantee I'll get that, but after having like my first taste of it, you could say, I have realised it is something that I do seriously enjoy and that I would like to pursue as a career. So that's the stuff. It's helped me realise what style of acting I want to get into, and stuff like stage flying. I think it's like helpful as well, because
I think as well, like I think I'm still sort of deciding what I really want to do in my acting, but I think I am pretty open to sort of all types, like theatre, what else is there, film. I'm sort of really sort of wanting to dip my toe in all of them, but I think having all these different lessons, like with Gary, which is focused on film, and then you've got Leanne, who's sort of Shakespeare, I think it's all helping us to sort of decide what we really want to do, and I think that's an amazing thing. Is there anything else?
Cool, I think that's this week done.
All right.
Get in.